Hello friends, and welcome back to my kitchen yet again. Today I am going to show you the easiest and most simple way you could possibly make kimchi fried rice with chicken. Okay, so last week I did a stir-fried noodle dish, and this week I'm going to show you how to make fried rice, and it is dead simple. Very few ingredients, very few utensils, and it's all going to be in one pan. Let's do it. The ingredients for this dish are insanely simple. We have one package of pre-cooked white rice. That's why this is so easy. You don't even have to cook rice. I'm using 12 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, 6 ounces of store-bought kimchi. The one I bought is already cut up into pieces. I didn't even have to bother doing that. And I'm using 2 eggs. If you want to get fancy, I'm also going to use a scallion and a sheet of seaweed as garnish at the end. Seasonings are also going to be super simple. I've got my pan spray. I'm going to use a little bit of sesame oil for flavor, salt, pepper. In here, I have Splenda for a bit of sweetness, and the Umami seasoning I got from Costco. If you don't have this, salt, pepper, and garlic powder is perfectly okay. This is just like an added bonus, and I'm really actually liking this seasoning. Next time I go to Costco, I'm going to grab more. We're making this whole dish in one pan. I've got a spatula for mixing up the rice. I don't want to scrape up the bottom of my pan, so I have a wooden one. I have my scissors for cutting, and I have my tongs so I don't have to touch the raw chicken. And of course, I have my bowl, and this time I'm going to use a spoon. You could also, of course, use chopsticks if you want, but I think rice is easier to eat with a spoon. Okay, first things first, we're going to cook the pre-cooked rice. The directions are on the outside of this one. Basically, you just have to open it slightly. Oh, God. And then pop it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. Ooh, careful, it's super hot. I'm just going to set this aside and let it cool down a little bit while we prepare the rest of the dish. Okay, here we go. Let's start cooking. I've got the pan already heated. It's about medium-high. I'm going to put down some pan cooking spray, and then we'll toss the chicken in. While the bottom side is starting to brown up, I'll season it with the Umami seasoning, some pepper, just a little bit of salt, and some Splenda for sweetness. Use your artificial sweetener of choice or just a little bit of sugar is fine. It's been browning up on that side for about 5 minutes, so I'm going to flip it over and let the other side brown up. Although I like to move the chicken around a little bit to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan, it's better to let it sit for as long as possible in order to get that nice color on it. I'm also going to go ahead and season this side as well. Because of the seasoning, the other side takes a little less time to start browning. I'm gonna start cutting it up into smaller chunks. At this point, I'm also gonna throw in the kimchi. You want to add some of the juice for flavor, but we need to try to cook out a lot of the liquid so that it doesn't make the rice really soggy. The temperature has been about medium high for this entire cooking process. And I'm also going to switch from my tongs to the wooden spoon so I don't scratch up the bottom of my pan. A lot of the liquid is cooked down, so I'm going to add in the pre-cooked rice. I'm going to do my best to break it up so that we can work on getting it nice and crispy. I'm going to push all the rice and chicken off to one side. And then we're going to add a little bit more pan spray and crack our eggs right into the pan for a little bit of scrambled eggs. And since eggs can be a little bit bland, I'm going to hit them with a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to give them a little stir and scramble them up. And then mix it in with the rest of the chicken, rice, and kimchi. Meanwhile, the rice that's cooking, it's going to get nice and crispy on the bottom too, which I love in my fried rice. I love having those crispy fried pieces. And last thing is we're just going to spread it out as flat as we can get and let the bottom cook more. And we'll probably turn it over a few times to get as much like crispy goodness as we possibly can. There you can go. You can see the nice like extra browned up pieces right there. Okay, that's looking really good to me. So I'm going to turn off the heat and then let's plate it. All told, the entire cooking process took about 20 minutes, including the chicken and the kimchi and the rice and the egg. So let's go. Here's the fried rice in the bowl, and we're going to top it with the scallion and the seaweed. I'm just going to use the same scissors I used for my chicken. Of course, you want to make sure you rinse them off because they did touch raw chicken. But using your scissors to cut scallions just is like God gamer. Super easy. And then you don't have to use more dishes. I cut up some scallion and that seaweed paper and just used it to top my fried rice. Both of these things are very low calorie. and add some nice freshness and flavor to the dish. And I think it just elevates it a little bit, even though this is supposed to be like the literal most easiest kimchi fried rice of your life. Nya-nya. And there we go with the final dish. I'm going to mix everything up and I will do a taste test. Ooh, it's still so hot. Look at that. Ooh. I'm going to try to get a little bit of chicken, a little bit of kimchi, a little bit of rice. Mm. Mm. I know I'm corny, but this is just another one of those comfort foods that I like to eat when I'm on a cut. Not only is it super simple, but it has a really great amount of proteins, which is what I need when I'm on a cut. It's not necessarily low calorie because this is about 1,000 calories. But for me personally, I can make that work into my diet. You could always make this dish a little fancier. You could add more vegetables. You could add more seasonings. I was just trying to show you the absolute most simple way to do it ever. Typically, if I was going to like make a fried rice dish, I would also probably make rice instead of using the one that comes pre-cooked. But if you could find that pre-cooked rice that I saw at Costco for really inexpensive, this is a great way to use it. That makes it a little more interesting. I will put the calories and macros over here and we can talk about it just for a second. Let me pull it up. 82 grams of carbs, about 31 grams of fat, and 88 grams of protein. The calories are 955 calories, and that is including the sesame oil. If you want to make this even lower calorie, it was only 40 calories worth of sesame oil. You could omit that, but I do think it adds a really nice flavor. You know, I love the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but you could also use chicken breast. You could use shrimp. You could use beef. And you could also use tofu. The boneless thighs work really well in this dish because that added bit of fat renders out into the pan. It means I can use less oil and just use the pan spray. Typically, when making fried rice, you would use more oil to give it that really crispy fried effect. Like I said, I bought the kimchi at the store. I think it's available places. I hope you can find it. Sometimes I do make my own kimchi, but as a time saver, the one from the store is also great. It's low calorie, it's really flavorful. For me, I am not very tolerant to spice, but because I'm adding so much rice and chicken to the dish, I don't think it's too spicy. That might not be the case for you, but if you like kimchi, I think this is something that you would also like. I like the egg. It adds more protein. It adds more flavor. It adds just a little bit of everything. If you don't like scrambled, you could also fry your egg and throw it on top. Mixing in the yolk with the rice is like also god gamer, so good. And I also said if you don't have a scallion, you don't have the seaweed, that's kind of just a topper that's incredibly low calorie that just adds like a little bit of flavor. Don't forget to be responsible for your own gains. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chris, aka The Terrible Hime. I'm a streamer, a cosplayer, a fitness type person. If you liked the video, if you found it helpful, if the food looks good, please give it a like. If you like my content, I do just a bunch of random stuff, consider subscribing. All my socials will be in the description below. And on Sundays, I do a Twitch stream where I show you guys how to cook. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.